Hello there. Today I wanted to talk to you about gratitude. We spend quite a lot of our time focusing on the negative thoughts, on all our worries and concerns. So, gratitude can help bring a bit of balance. It just gives us the opportunity to think about those more positive thoughts, the things that we are grateful for, and to start to change our mindset a little bit. So rather than always focusing on the negative, if we have a go at putting some positive thoughts into our day, it can just start to make a difference. So, my suggestion to start with is just to think of three things you're grateful for. And this is just a very simple step. I know, however, that if we're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, finding things to be grateful for is a bit of a challenge. But I'm hopefully going to give you some tips and advice, and we can build on that and it will become easier. So let's take a moment now just to sit back, find a comfortable position, take a couple of deep breaths. Now we can either gaze around and look around our space, or we can close the eyes and just use our imagination to think of those three things. So, sometimes when we close our eyes, our other senses take over, and so we can really take notice of other things that are going on. So, with our eyes closed, you may have noticed sounds around you. You may have noticed lovely smells. Of course, with the eyes open, we can see, especially now as we're heading into springtime, beautiful things. So, in this moment, while I sit here with you, I can gaze out the window. I can see the beautiful blue sky and the sunshine, and I can be grateful for those. I can be grateful for the lovely fresh air that's starting to make us feel good. So I've already got three things. When I close my eyes, I hear the sounds of the birds and that lovely moment of just connecting to nature. Sometimes I do like to have some oils, bubbling away, and a nice smell and aroma in the room, and that can make you feel nice and relaxed. Or maybe you like some flowers, and that's a lovely way to cheer us up. Have some lovely scented flowers. We can look at the colours and see how grateful we are for seeing those beautiful colours and that lovely smell. So we can use our senses a little bit. Really, it's a way of being mindful of how you are right now and what is around you right now that you're really grateful for. And often it is very much those small things. We can explore bigger things and be really grateful for so many things in our life, but let's start small. Let's keep it simple and enjoy taking a moment to be grateful. So I'm keeping it simple with starting with three, because often we find it difficult to think beyond three things. When I teach the 8-week mindfulness course, we often try and think of 10 things each day. And if that works for you, then that's absolutely wonderful. Build on that. And it is that continuous practice of doing a little bit each day, which will make a big difference in your life. Doing it one-off is great, but the more we are able to build this into our day, the more we can change that mindset from waking up and thinking of the negatives and then focusing on those throughout the day. So that brings me to when you can sit down and be grateful. My suggestion is when you do get up in the morning, it's a great way to sit down, take a moment before the day goes ahead to think of 3 things you're grateful for. Now I like to make a cup of tea, come and sit down on my cushion, take some deep breaths and think about 3 things I'm grateful for before I start my day. And it really does make you start your day in a way that makes you look for the positives. So it's worth giving that a try. Of course, we can do this at any other time of the day. Maybe when we've got a little break in the day and we can sit down and take a moment to ourselves, we can do it then. Or maybe at the end of the day. Sometimes it seems that so many negative things have happened that it's difficult to focus on those positive, lovely moments. But if we just take a moment at the end of the day before we go to bed and just think, are there 3 things I can be grateful for in this moment? And often as you reflect back through your day, if you notice the blue sky and the sunshine, maybe something made you smile today. It might be one small thing amongst lots of other things, but by noticing them, we can be more grateful. So I'm thinking of a story here that I read once about a teacher who wrote down the 9 times table on the board, and she did 9 of them right and 1 of them wrong. Now the children all pointed out the one she'd done wrong and said, "Oh, but that one's wrong." But they didn't notice all the others that were right. And this is how we are in our minds, really, isn't it? We can have 9 things go well and 1 thing go wrong, and we focus on that 1 thing. So it's okay to notice those things. And of course, sometimes our days just don't go well. But what if we noticed all of the things that did go well? How would we feel then? So that's just something to think about and something to consider. There's something else that we need to do, and that is remind ourselves to be grateful, because it's very easy to slip out of the habit. So we might do it for a couple of days and then forget. So we do need a little reminder. So I've got some pebbles here that I painted recently. So this might be a nice idea for you to spend a moment. We could take a nice little walk, collect some pebbles, get some paint and choose some of your favourite colours and have a little go at painting a pebble. Now I'd painted these and thought, what can I use them for? And then I thought, that's perfect. I need a little reminder. And when I look at these, I can think, oh, here's my gratitude stones. And, you know, I could place them next to my bed. You know, I could, whenever I get up in the morning, I can pick one up and think, oh yeah, 3 things I'm grateful for. Maybe it's nice to have one under your pillow. I've got some other smaller ones here as well. Perhaps you'd like to just do some small ones. Pop one under your pillow or next to your bed, so when you go to sleep at night, it acts as a little reminder. Think, oh, what went well today? So I just wanted to show you those as an example of maybe creating some lovely pebble paintings for yourself. Not only is that a lovely mindful activity where we can just focus on the paint, the colours, the shapes, we can think, this is my gratitude stone. Use it as a reminder first thing in the morning, and whenever you look at it, you'll think, oh, that will remind me to be grateful. So whenever you want to throughout your day, you can pick one up, have a little look, maybe even keep one in your pocket. And that, each time you reach it, so, oh, yes. I must remember to be mindful and to be grateful. So we need these little prompts just to help us along the way. So feel free to give that a go. It's really a good way to start to build a new positive habit in your life. And that's what we're trying to do, create a new positive habit. We're retraining our mind to think in a different way. So we need as many prompts and reminders as we can just to help us along the way. Okay. So I'm just going to show you something else. So the other thing we can do, once we've got into the habit of doing our 3 little moments of gratitude, whether that's in the morning, some point during the day, or before we go to bed, we might like to start writing them down. So you might like a little notebook to make a note of the 3 things. And this is wonderful to look back at as a reminder when we have those days that are just not going so well, and you think, oh, I'm really feeling fed up. And we can come back and have a little look in our notebook and we go, oh, I remember I was grateful for these things. And sometimes we repeat the same things over and over, and that's fine, We just appreciate them even more then, don't we? So the other thing we can do is actually draw the things we're grateful for. If you're feeling creative and you liked the pebbles, then maybe you would like to have a little draw. Now this is a little page out of my sketch pad that I did with a group with Independent Arts when we were looking at gratitude. And I just drew on there all those things. So obviously it's more than 3. We can start with 3 and build up if there's more things. So this is something you can reflect on at some point during your day. What things were you grateful for? And maybe you can have a little draw. It might be small things, it might be big things, whatever you like. So there's a couple of creative ideas there for you that you might like to have a go at. And what's nice about that is that not only are we creating a new positive habit with just doing simply 3 things, we're building up, we're creating more positive habits, we're creating more mindful moments. We can sit down, reflect on our day, on the positive things and the things that bring us joy. And when we put them in a notebook, when we draw them, they become real and they stay in your mind a lot better. And we can reflect back, we can flick through the pages of our journal, of our sketch pad, and think, oh, I remember that. Even now, as I look at this, and we've got swans. So I can remember when we did this, we took a walk down to the water and we saw some swans, and it was just a lovely moment. And so that just brings back your memories of, precious moments. Maybe that you did have a really wonderful moment that day and you just want to, focus on that one. There are lots of things I'm grateful for. But like you say, just remembering to bring that gratitude into your life is just a precious moment. So, just a little recap. Start with 3 things you're grateful for. And maybe that's enough for you if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, stressed or anxious. Maybe, it's just difficult to feel motivated, you're feeling a bit low and, it's hard to get yourself out of those feelings. But this is a step towards getting out of those feelings. And so even if we're really not feeling it inside, it's that fake it till we make it. It's doing it regardless, creating those new habits, doing our best to even very small things that we can be grateful for. It's changing the mindset. So in a day where things don't feel so great, we have a moment to focus on something a bit more positive. So if you want to build up from there and use those pebbles, those little reminders, go for a little walk, collect your pebbles, and maybe on that walk you'll notice a few things you're grateful for. Maybe you'll enjoy painting the pebbles, and that will be another thing you're grateful for. Maybe you can place them next to your bed as a little reminder to wake up in the morning and be grateful, or to be grateful last thing at night. Or maybe we'd just like to pop one in our pocket and we can pick it up any time. Take a couple of deep breaths. Stop and notice maybe what's around you, your senses, what you can see, hear, smell, touch maybe. So that's our second step, using a pebble to remind us. If you don't want to be creative, you could just find a pebble, a nice smooth one that feels nice to touch. Or maybe you're into crystals and you can hold a crystal and just feel a sense of resting in that moment, holding the pebble or the crystal and being grateful. So, on from there, if you are feeling creative, maybe write or draw in your notebook or sketch pad a list of things you're grateful for. And you know, it might be 3 things to start with, and it might be more. Just whatever comes to you, don't limit it. If you feel you've got more, then go for it. And you might just enjoy creating a special moment for yourself. This is really important. We sit down and take a little moment to reflect on the good thing and to really make it a precious moment. So it's a very self-care practice. We can write in our notebook or we can draw in our sketch pad and give ourselves a precious moment of gratitude. And obviously they are wonderful to look back at, to remind us of those lovely moments, to the things we're grateful for that maybe we forgot about. You know, as I come back and look at these now, I remember going, oh yes. So it's really nice to do that. And also, if you're really into gratitude, there's this book called The Magic. And this is full of ideas of being grateful. It suggests saying thank you, thank you, thank you 3 times after each thing you're grateful for. And I think that practice just makes it feel more real, and it starts to feel warm in your body. You actually start to feel grateful rather than just saying it and writing it. We actually start to feel it. And I think that's where it can take you on a little bit further. This also goes into many different ways to be grateful. Of all the things in your life, relationships, health, money, magic morning, that's probably where I got my morning practice from. Magic dust, everyone. And that's again about starting your day and believing that it's going to go well, and be grateful ahead of time that things are going to go well. Obviously that takes a bit of time to get to that point, but maybe you'd like to give that a go and just have a little read and explore some of those methods if gratitude for you is something you want to really explore more. Just do as much or as little as it feels right for you. Get creative, have fun, read, give yourself a precious moment and enjoy.